Shalom, shalom, Israel, shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all honor and all glory to Yahweh, Ba'Shem HaMashiach Yahushai. That is to say, all praises to the Heavenly Father, whom the world calls God, and the name of His only begotten Son, whom the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. Right? Shabbat shalom as well to the 12 tribes that are scattered abroad. Right? And I want to give a quick exhortation video to those that may newly be in the truth or not really understand how to pray or get their prayers heard from the Most High. Right? So we hit the basics again for all you newbies and those that are inquiring. So let's dive into it. First and foremost, in order to get your prayers heard, you must be keeping the commandments of the Most High. You must be striving to the best of your ability to keep the commandments of the Most High God in order to get your prayers heard. Because if you're not keeping the commandments of the Most High, then He's not even regarding your prayer, nor is He even dealing with it. It's a disgusting thing to His ears. Right? So let's prove that real quick. Let's go to the classic. Let's go to the book of Proverbs. Right? The book of Proverbs, chapter 28 and verse number 9. And it reads, "He that turneth away his ear from hearing the law, even his prayer shall be abomination." So understand, the word abomination is a filthy, wicked, nasty thing. It's disgusting to the Most High. Right? So if you're not keeping the laws of the Most High, then your prayer is deemed an abomination. So it wouldn't even be profitable for you to even pray to the Most High at all if you're not keeping His laws. And it's that simple. Right? So reading that again, Proverbs 28 and 9, it says, "He that turneth away his ear from hearing the law, even his prayer shall be abomination." So that's first and foremost. You understand that you have to be striving to keep the laws of God for your prayer to even be heard on high from the Most High. Right? And as well as you can't be standing before the Most High and making a request or praying and just uttering and saying anything out of your mouth. The Most High is the King of Kings, the Lord of Lords. And you cannot just go and stand before Him with vain babbling and just speaking anything hastily outside your mind, man. Right? Or just speaking words to the Most High. Right? Let's go to the book of Ecclesiastes. Right? The book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 5. And I'm going to start at verse number 2, and it says, "Be not rash with thy mouth, and let not thine heart be hasty to utter anything before the Most High." Right? So you cannot be hasty just to talk and speak before the Most High. He is the creator of all things. So you cannot just go before Him and just utter anything. Right? And it says, "For God is in heaven, and thou art upon earth. Therefore, let thy words be few." So you don't want to be like these silly Christians out here, right? To just be babbling and just be saying anything, or coming with that so-called speaking in tongues, right? Something that you don't even know what you're saying or interpreting, right? You just can't come before the Lord and just haste anything, man, and saying these daggum 2-hour long prayers, man. You can't do that, because that's the Most High, and He's not playing with that, man. And especially if you're going and making promises before the Most High, and you're known for not keeping those promises, man. The Lord is going to hold every word that comes out of your mouth. Every idle word that you speak is going to be held against you, man. Right? Matter of fact, I'm going to hold this and I'm going to come back to it. And let me go to Job real quick, a precept real quick in the book of Job, right? Chapter 35 real quick. This is the book of Job, chapter 35 and verse number, let's start at verse number 13. And it reads, surely Yahweh will not hear vanity, neither will the Almighty regard it. So the Lord is not going to hear any vain words that you speaking, man. No foolishness. You coming before the Lord and making promises and vows that you can't keep. Or you doing things simply as asking for a Ferrari or a wife, man. Or a husband. Or just, hey, cash. Lord, if you give me this new job, man, I promise that I'll keep the Sabbath day holy, or I won't do this, I won't do that. The Lord is not hearing that vanity, man. Right? He's not even regarding any of it. All right, so let's go back to Ecclesiastes real quick. All right, Ecclesiastes chapter 5. And jumping down to verse number 4, it says, when thou vowest a vow unto Yahweh, defer not to pay it, for he have no pleasure in fools. Pay that which thou hast vowed, man. So if you go before the Most High, you vow something before the Most High in your prayer, you better pay that. Because the Lord is going to hold that against you, man. He's not with that vanity talk or just speaking words, man. The Lord is going to require that from you. And he says, suffer not thy mouth to cause thy flesh to sin. Neither say thou before the angel that it was an error. Wherefore should God be angry at thy voice and destroy the work of thine hands, man? You know, so you don't want to be just coming and praying about anything, man, vain or super repetition or something just wicked. Because, hey, the angels, man, are recording everything you saying. And they bringing that before the Lord, man. And if you making strange vows, man, or just uttering anything, the Lord is going to hold that to you, man. And he's not dealing with vanity, man. Right? So you have to keep that in mind and stay focused and know what you're going to pray before you stand before the Most High, man. Right? A good technique is to write down your prayers. If you don't know already in your heart what you're going to speak, you cannot force the course of the river, man, as the scriptures say. You can't just be going off the top of your head, winging it. So you have to at least, write down what you want to speak about. Right? Matter of fact, let's get this real quick. In the book of Sirach, right? The book of Sirach, right? Chapter 33. Right? This is the book of Sirach, or Ecclesiasticus, chapter 33 and verse number 4, and it reads, prepare what to say, and so thou shalt be heard, and bind up instruction, and then make answer. So you want to prepare what to say before the Most High, man. And then make answer. Right? Then understand what you're going to speak to the Most High, and then make answer, man. Right? So everything that you say can be clear and precise, right? And straight to the point, and don't have to be drawn out with a long prayer before the Lord. The Lord said, make thy words few, right? And then, in order to hear your prayer heard furthermore, you want to know where your power comes from, which is the land of Israel, right? The land of Jerusalem in the east. That's where your power comes from. That's where the name of the Lord is. That's where his power is, man. Right? And that's where you come from, the 12 tribes of Israel, man, your homeland. That's where your source is from, right? And that's where you make your prayer from, right? Let's get a precept real quick, right? I'm gonna go to Deuteronomy. Let's go to Deuteronomy chapter, Salakia. Let's go to Deuteronomy, right? Chapter 12. Right, Deuteronomy 12, and we're going to start at verse number, let's go to verse 5, and it says, "But unto the place which the Lord your God shall choose out of all your tribes to put his name there, even unto his habitation shall ye seek, and thither shall ye come. And thither ye shall bring your burnt offerings and your sacrifices, your tithes and your heave offerings, and your hand, Salakia, of your hand, and your vows, and your free will offering of the firstling of the herd of your flocks." Right? So your vows, man, and your sacrifices are your prayers you're sending up to the Most High, man. Right? And to the land where he placed and chooses, man. Right, to place his name there, right, which is the land of Jerusalem, Israel. So you want to turn towards the east and pray toward the land, man, so your prayer can be heard. Right, let me back on that real quick. Let's go to the book of 2 Chronicles real quick, man. The book of 2 Chronicles chapter 6 and verse, I'm gonna start at verse number 38. Let's see. Yeah, I believe it's 6 and 38. And it reads, "If they return to thee with all their heart and with all their soul in the land of their captivity, whither I have carried them captive, and prayed toward their land, which thou gavest unto their fathers, and toward the city which thou hast chosen, and toward the house which I have built for thy name." Right? "Then hear thou from the heaven, even from thy dwelling place, their prayer and their supplications, and maintain their cause, and forgive thy people which have sinned against thee." Right? So you got to pray towards the land, man. Right? Facing the east, where the Lord put his name, man, toward that holy city, and make your supplication, your prayer, make your vows. Right? Give your offering up to the Most High, man, when you pray, so you can be heard. Right? Throughout the land of your captivities, man. Right? You've never heard these things in church. Right? Because in church, they just pray anywhere, out loud, everywhere, just do whatever they do, man. Right? And sometimes, you cannot just sit down and face toward the east and pray. But this is the proper way to get your prayer heard. Right? Let's get an example of our forefathers doing this, man. Let's go to the book of Daniel, man. It's the book of Daniel, real quick. Chapter 6 and verse 10. And it reads, "Now when Daniel knew that the writing was signed, he went into his house, and his windows being open in his chamber toward Jerusalem, he kneeled upon his knees 3 times a day and prayed and gave thanks before his God as he did aforetime," man. So understand that, man. Our forefathers did this, man. They faced towards the land, and they prayed to Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, man. Right? So this is what you have to do. And it's a way that a man has to pray, and a way that a woman has to pray, man. Right? Let's get the classic. Let's go to 1 Corinthians, man. Real quick. Right? This is just basics on how to pray, man, to get your prayer heard. Right? This is the book of First Corinthians, right? Chapter 11, I'm going to start at verse 3, and it reads, "But I would have you know that the head of every man is Christ, and the head of the woman is the man, and the head of Christ is God. Every man praying or prophesying with his head covered dishonoreth his head." So, brothers, understand when you're praying to the Most High or prophesying, you have to remove your head covering. If you have a hat or whatever on top of your head, remove it, man. Out of respect for the Most High, man. Your head, Yahweh Shai. Remove your hat. It's simple, man. Right? Pay respects. And for you sisters. "But every woman that prayeth or prophesieth with her head uncovered dishonoreth her head, for that is even all one as if she were shaven." Right? So you women, when you pray, you face towards the east and you cover your heads. So you won't be dishonoring your husband, which is your head, if you have one, and Christ, which is your head, and the Most High. Right? So sisters, if you're praying, cover your heads, for your prayer can be heard. And like I said, don't be out in the open all loud and speaking in so-called tongues and, going crazy, praying everywhere, man. Just doing all this foolishness like the Christians do, man. Right? Joining hand to hand in the middle of the streets and the churches and all in the lawns and making a prayer chain and screaming and making vain repetition, man. Don't do that. Go somewhere where it's secret for you and it's intimate between you and the Most High, man, that you can have your prayers heard. A one-on-one conversation with the Lord, man. Offering up your offerings before the Most High. Right? Let's get this last one, man. Right, I'll close it with this. Let's go to Matthew chapter 6. Right, Matthew chapter 6 and verse number 5, and it reads, "And when thou prayest, thou shalt not be as the hypocrites are, for they love to pray, standing in the synagogues and in the corners of the streets, that they may be seen of men." And that's what a lot of you Christians do, man. Y'all want to be out in the streets and talking about, "I'm going to pray for you and let's hold hands and let's do this and that," man. The Lord said don't do that, man. That's hypocritical, man. You want to be seen of men. It don't work like that. And it says, "Verily, I say unto you, they have their reward." Right? And it says, "But thou, when thou prayest, enter into thy closet," meaning a secret place. It could be a closet or it could just be your room, man, or wherever it is. And it says, "And when thou hast shut thy door, pray to thy Father which is in secret, and thy Father shall seeth in secret and shall reward thee openly." So understand that. Pray to the Most High the way He wants you to pray to Him, man. And don't be hypocritical in your prayers. So this has been a basic lesson to return back to the proper way to pray for those newbies to come in this truth and those that have lost their way, man. Right? So with that, hope it was edifying and that you take heed to this exhortation and get back to the basics. With that, Shalom.